Hello, welcome to Light and Salt Crochet. Today I'm going to be showing you how to sew a zipper into your finished crochet pieces. So to do this, you're going to need your crochet pieces, a zipper, some straight pins, sewing needle and thread. You really want thread that matches your zipper, but I'm using a contrasting color just so you can see my stitches. And of course, a pair of scissors. Let's get started. So to start, I'm going to take my crochet pieces and just line them up, make sure they're more or less even. That's going to make it a whole lot easier to get that zipper centered. And then I'm going to take my zipper and make sure it's the right size for what I'm doing. So I'm just going to take it and center it on both these pieces, see if I like how it looks. I don't really like for my zippers to go end to end. I like for there to be a little bit of space on each side, and this one is going to work out just perfect for that. So now I can take this and get started. I'm going to start with this first piece, the front piece, and I have this right side facing down, so the wrong side is facing up towards me. And I'm just going to start pinning this thing in. Decide how you want your zipper to open and close, which direction. To me, it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to start pinning it in. I'm going to take the edge of the zipper and line it up with the edge of the crochet piece. I like for my zipper teeth to barely be poking along the top of the crochet piece. So I'm going to pin that pretty close. It's a small piece, so 3 pins should work just fine. Notice I have my zipper open while I'm doing this. That just makes the whole thing so much easier. Alright, so we've got that pin to the first piece. I'm going to flip it over, just make sure I like the positioning. The teeth are barely above the edge of the crochet. Then that's the way I like it. So, that one's looking good. Now I'm going to bring in my next piece. Again, the right side is facing down, wrong side up. And I'm just going to pin this one in. I'm going to line those pieces up one more time to make sure that this is going to be centered. And again, the zipper teeth are barely above the edge of the crochet. And I'm going to go ahead and pin that one in. Alright, it's like a mouth. Okay, so both pieces, the zipper is pinned in, and now your pieces are attached to each other by the zipper. So what I'm going to do is just fold this over, and I like to close it just to test and make sure that I like the positioning of the zipper. Of course, it doesn't want to close for me. Alright. That looks pretty good. Ignore that red mark. That looks pretty good. It's centered. Not too much of the zipper is going to be showing once I have it all sewn in. That worked for me. Alright. Once you have that all pinned in and it looks good to you, you can commence to sewing. So I've got my needle and thread here. Again, I'm using a contrasting color so you can see my stitches, but you really want to use the same color thread as your zipper. Unless your zipper and your crochet piece are the same color, do not match your thread to your crochet piece. Match it to your zipper, because this is the only side that the thread is going to show on. It's not going to show back here, and I will show you how to do that. So I'm going to take my needle and thread, get rid of that first pin, and start sewing. I'm not going to start sewing back here because I don't really need that to be tacked down. You can if you want. I don't really care. I'm going to just start sewing right around where this zipper stop is. So I'm doing my first stitch here, starting at the end. And first of all, don't say anything about my hand sewing skills. They ain't that great, but they'll get the job done. Got my knot in there so it doesn't keep going. And I'm just going to do this straight running stitch. I don't know what it's called, but that's what I'm doing. Now, again, I'm using this highly contrasting color. It's what both my zipper and my crochet are, but check this out. Flip it over. You don't see it. You don't see it anywhere. And the way you do that is just by doing shallow stitches. You want to make sure you don't go through all the way through to the other side of your yarn. Yarn is pretty thick. There is a lot of it. So it's pretty easy to make sure you're not going all the way through. And the zipper is still very secure. It's not going anywhere. Alright, so I'm going to keep going. Sew all the way over, come back up, sew all the way over on this side, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so we are all done sewing our zipper in, as you can see. And again, don't make fun of my hand stitching. It is what it is. The zipper is secure and tight. It's not going anywhere. So what I'm going to do now is just flip this over and zip it up so I can get a good idea of what it looks like. It's nice and neat. Not too much of the actual fabric of the zipper is showing. I got that as close to the edge of the crochet as I could. Looks good. Over here you don't really see the thread coming out from the front. You see it a little because it's bright red and I got a little lazy over here. But for the most part you don't see it, and on this side you don't see it at all. So everything is looking good. Now I'm just going to flip this back over. Unzip it first. Flip this back over. Now when I get ready to seam this closed, all I'm going to do is start from the end of the zipper. So I'm going to pull these little flaps back that I didn't sew down. And I'm going to start right here where the zipper ends. I'm going to seam here. And of course go all the way down, around, back up over here. And then I'm going to end again where the zipper and my stitching stops. And that's going to be it. I'm not going to seam it on camera because that's pretty simple and straightforward. You should know how to do that. Thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial. If you have any questions, please type them in the comment box below. I will try my best to answer them. Keep in mind, I am not an expert on any of this stuff. I just do what I got to do to get along. Also, like, subscribe, share, do whatever your heart tells you to do in that regard. You can also check me out on Instagram at Light and Salt Crochet. I probably have it somewhere below in the description box. Also in the description box are links to my online shops. There are crochet patterns, crochet kits, also gifts that are of spiritual inclination. I am Christian, I love the Lord, and everything I do reflects that. So check all that out. Please feel free to peruse and partake again as your heart leads you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.